Hi, I'm Stephanie, and thank you for joining me for Texas Peach Knits. My first time ever having a podcast, and it's kind of a gift to myself because I'm turning 40 this year, and I was trying to think of what kind of gift I would like for my 40th birthday. And the only thing I could think of was how much I enjoy watching knitting podcasts while I knit and relax. And I thought, well, maybe I'll start one too and add to the beauty and the goodness of knitting on YouTube. I live in Texas. I've lived in this part of Texas outside of Fort Worth since 2001. I grew up in the state of Georgia, and hence the Texas Peach Knits, because I always considered myself a Georgia peach. I have 4 children. I homeschool. This is actually our homeschool space in our home. It's brighter than my area where I keep my yarn, so you get to enjoy my homeschool library. I am married to a wonderful guy that he is an artist too. He is a cellist and a high school orchestra teacher. And so we enjoy lots of kind of artistic pursuits together. So that's about it about me and about why I wanted to start a podcast. So I hope you enjoy. I'm a pretty frugal knitter. We have a fairly tight yarn budget in this family, but the thing I love about knitting is that it's really open to any budget and price point. I've been really lucky to find great deals on yarn. I gift myself yarn at holidays, and I also love to knit gifts, so that's a great way to have more yarn, knit more things, and share them with other people. So I enjoy that. So today I want to show you my Benedictus sweater. This is by Devin, Ventre of Knitty McPurly. I first heard of her I think it was last spring, and I immediately went to her website to check out her patterns. And I saw the Benedictus sweater, and I thought that it was really something that I would enjoy wearing, and I had some yarn in my stash, so I decided to knit it right away. Now, when you start knitting a sweater in Texas, oh, and I haven't even sewn all the ends in, so you'll see some of those pop out, but starting to knit a moderately heavyweight sweater in the spring of Texas is not necessarily a good idea. So I haven't been able to wear it, and I probably will take it off before I continue the rest of my podcast after I show it to you, because it is quite warm. I did make the sleeves shorter. I think I can wear a long sleeve t-shirt or something under them if it does happen to be cold. We get about 3 weeks of cold here. So, and I do like the warm, but spring and fall are my favorites. And honestly, my favorite part about living in Texas is that most of the winter you can go outside in a sweater and be comfortable and enjoy being outdoors. So that's part of the reason I love Texas, is I do really like the winter weather. Okay, so let me tell you more about the Benedictus sweater. I knit a size 4, which is, I think it's a 43.25 bust. I probably could have knit it smaller. I haven't actually blocked this yet, so it might grow even more. I used Malabrigo Rios in the Bobby blue color. That's this main blue color. This I purchased from a friend's destash. She was selling some of her yarn, and it's slightly different dye lots, but ended up being fine. I think I used less of this darker one. I used it on the sleeves a little bit. The contrast color is a mystery color to me. I know that a friend gave it to me, and it was during a time that we were knitting a lot of diaper soakers. So if you've ever knit diaper soakers, it's like its own culture. There's people who buy and sell yarn just for diaper soakers. So it's non-superwash, I'm assuming. And it's in this beautiful maroon, kind of like a purpley plum color, and this variegated, it's got some light purple, peachy, and like a darker pink. So I did the lighter color in the yoke, and this yoke has this beautiful fair isle, and I believe it's Christian and Marian symbolism, which one of the reasons I really liked it. And then for the body and the bottom of the sleeves, I used the darker purple. So I'll stand up. So I think I might have knit it a little bit longer than the pattern said, and I also split the bottom so that it would not, you know, cinch in on me. And the back side, I knit a hair longer. So, but I really like it. This maroon yarn is really, it feels a little different. So it might be something a little different, but I like it. I think it's gonna hold up pretty well. I know the Malabrigo can get the little fuzzy things on it, but honestly, I probably won't be able to wear it all that often, so it'll probably stay in good shape for a long time. So I think that is all about that, and I will take this off and then I'll talk to you more. So I'm much cooler now. I'm a little splotchy from being nervous probably, because I'm just not used to talking to myself about my projects, but it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get through it. I have another finished object to show you. This is the textured shawl recipe, and this is by Orlane Sucche, and it's a free pattern. I found it on Love Crafts. I think you can find it other places. I have this, well, I have a mother, and my mother likes to tell me the things that she would like me to knit her. And while I actually really love when people tell me what they would like me to knit them, but I need them to always remember that it's not going to necessarily be in the time frame that they expect. So if you make a request, that's wonderful. I always try to knit for others when I can, and so my mother has been waiting quite a long time for this shawl. She said that she wanted a large, warm shawl, and this last summer I found yarn. Believe it or not, I found it at a thrift store, and it was Cascade Yarns Baby Alpaca Chunky. And so it's 100% baby alpaca. It's very warm. And there are 108 yards per 100 gram skein. I actually found 4 skeins, great, beautiful condition, and ended up buying it. And this says the colorway is Rainier Heather. So it is a kind of flecked purple. This is the textured shawl. The main thing that makes the pattern is just how to start and the recommendations for this textured stitch. And I thought the stitch was really beautiful. I like the way it looks. I think it looks very cozy. And I also wanted a very simple pattern that could become kind of a mindless knit for me, which this was. Now, I did not end up repeating the textured portion, because I didn't really enjoy knitting it. I didn't enjoy the stitch very much, but I do like the way it looks. So I'm happy that I did it for that much at the top. Now then, I ended up just doing some eyelets halfway down just to give it some interest. I wanted to make sure the wings went out far enough that she could kind of wrap it around herself and it be comfortable. So I did short row wrap and turn shaping in multiple places. So I believe I started doing that in this section, and I also did it in the oh gosh, what's it called? The garter stitch section. So let me stand up so I can show this better. Okay, so it is a triangular shawl, but because I did the wrap and turn short rows, it is quite wide. So I'm 5'7", so this is at least 5'7" across, since isn't your wingspan your height? And I thought my mother can really wear it. She is shorter than I am, so it will fit her very comfortably. It's warm, and she could wear it any way she liked it. She could wear it like a bandana, and I actually like it so much. I love this color that I wish I had made it for myself, but I didn't. It's going to be a birthday present. She doesn't know about it yet, and it's going to be hard to wait to give it to her for her birthday. So I really enjoyed working with the Cascade Baby Alpaca. It's extremely soft. It did not irritate me at all. I know sometimes alpaca can irritate people. It is hand wash, so she'll have to care for it. But she doesn't have a problem with that, so that'll be good. So this is the textured shawl recipe by Orlane Sucche. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I might knit another one. Okay, so now for a fun one. So like I said, I have 4 kids, and we live in Texas, so it's not very cold. But I really wanted to make sure that every one of my kids had a pair of hand knit socks for this winter. So I started knitting them last spring. The first pair I knit were these ones, and these were for my youngest son, who is 5 now. And these yarns, this is actually an old Lion brand sock yarn, the blue for the contrast heel tone cuffs. And the main color I purchased with my Christmas yarn purchase last year. It is West Yorkshire Spinners. I bought it from Love Crafts during a sale. And this colorway is called Brightside. It's number 874. I think it looks like a box of crayons. I think it's so precious. My boys love it. So I knit the little ones right away. And he wore these. He actually wore them on his 5th birthday. He loved them so much. And yeah, so I'm really happy with how this pair turned out. But now he almost can't wear them anymore. I think their feet grow over the summer. Has anybody noticed that kids' feet grow over the summer? So these he can still squeeze into, but probably not for long. So then I was knitting his older brother's socks, who is 8, and he is actually pretty close in size, a little bit taller than my youngest. And his feet are like about a size bigger. So I was knitting just a little bit bigger. Doesn't look bigger from here. This one has ribbing, so it's cinched in. So this one is the same West Yorkshire spinner, and I had to dig this up out of their bedroom because well, it's a long story. This is also the West Yorkshire Spinners Brightsides. It's a 75 wool, 25 nylon. And my contrast color is also West Yorkshire Spinners in the chocolate lime colorway. And I actually purchased this because I got a ball of Christmas sock yarn for myself, and I wanted to do green heels, toes, and cuffs on mine, but I thought I'll have enough for these ones too. So I finished these, and my 8-year-old does not fit them anymore. Has that ever happened to you? I think that's every knitter's fear, that they're going to finish the project and the child will have outgrown it. In this case, it's okay because they fit my younger son perfectly. He already wore them for a whole day. He loves them just so much. And I did do an Eye of Partridge heel. I'm not sure I do these correctly. I don't feel like mine ever looks as pretty as everybody else's. But I definitely like heel flap socks the best. So these, I believe, are 56 stitches around. These are probably 52, maybe 54. But these no longer fit my 8-year-old, so these are now my 5-year-olds. Luckily, those 2 sets of socks only used half the ball of sock yarn. So here we go again. I just cast on, here's the ball, that's what's left. So half the ball of this Brightside was left. So I cast on a 60 stitch sock. This one I'm knitting straight stockinette to get it done quickly. And I decided to do gray heel, toe, and cuff because he's getting a little older. He likes it. But this is a trekking XXL. I believe it's Zitron trekking XXL. I found it at a Tuesday morning ages ago, and I used it on a pair of socks for my husband. So now my son is getting it on his socks. So these will be next. And then after I finish those, I will be knitting socks for my 2 daughters, because I have, my daughters are 13 and 11, and my sons are 8 and 5. So started with the little ones and working my way up. My eldest daughter, I think her feet are done growing. I hope they're done growing because she already wears a size 10. So I can knit hers last because I don't think her feet are going to grow. She's not in a big hurry either. So those are the socks. So the next whip I have to show you is a tea pattern by Norah Gaughn. It is the Flower Child tee, and I am not knitting this tunic length. This is shown tunic length. There is alternate instructions to cut it off here. So I'm knitting it t-shirt length, and I'm knitting it for my 11-year-old. My sister-in-law gifted me some Louisa Harding Jasmine. And this is color number 3. It's kind of a tealy blue color with sparkles. Cotton, bamboo, and silk. So 48% cotton, 39% bamboo, 10% silk, and 3% polyester. So my sister-in-law gifted this to me. I don't think she gave me any stipulations of what to use it for. I'm not very sparkly. I'm not sure this is my color blue, but my 11-year-old loves this color blue, so I decided to knit her a tee because I thought it would work well most of the year. So it's kind of a mess. This pattern is fascinating. It's knit in triangles and pieced together. So there's quite a bit of seaming. I don't really mind seaming. I enjoy doing mattress stitch, so I just carry on. So here is the back. and the back she had you start on does not have the cable on it, which I was grateful for. And I did get gauge in this bottom triangle was first. I got gauge with this, but then some of these side triangles, I feel like I got quite a bit looser. They all piece together fine, so I'm hoping it will be fine. And she will probably have to wear a tank top or something under this because it's a little, it might be a little see-through. But it is a fascinating construction. This is, like I said, this is the back. And now I'm starting the front where each triangle has a cable on it. So if you, let me see if I have a bigger picture of this. I think that might be the only. But so each triangle on the front will have this cable, flower, leaf, petal, something. And so I have a tendency to, when something changes with a pattern, I pause. And I don't know if my brain has to just think about it a while. But so I finished the back, I sewed it all together, I set it aside to work on other things, and I think I'm almost ready to pick up my needles. I'm using size 6. I've got it all ready. I'm going to pick up my needles and I'm going to do the front. So sometimes I take a little breather when a pattern changes because I have to change how I'm thinking because I know it's going to be different. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's been pretty decent car knitting since I can take just one triangle at a time with me. I don't have to carry the whole thing. So that has been very pleasant. And this yarn, it's nice. I'm not sure I would have, like I said, I'm not sure I would have bought it for myself because of the sparkle. I'm not very sparkly, but I love it for my daughter, and I will take care of the sweater for her as long as she lives in my house. So it should be fine. So that, oh, I have one more whip. My goal is to do one video a month. I really was questioning whether I would have enough to show. Sometimes when you watch knitting podcasts, there's just, they have so many projects and there's so much to show and to share. And I thought, I'm not going to have enough. But I think if my goal is one podcast a month, that I'll be able to piece together enough things, because I do actually work on a lot of things once I put everything together. So the last thing I am working on now is a crochet baby blanket. It is from the Big Book of Baby Afghans, and this is it's a used library book, but I bought it online. I've been looking for a while for a book that had lots of different crochet baby blankets in it, because we have lots of friends who are still having babies, and a crochet blanket is a great gift, and they are kind of fun to make. So I don't crochet often, but when you have a really beautiful crochet baby blanket pattern, it works up nice. So in this book, there are so many, 29 designs. I would say probably half of them I would actually make. Some of them are quite challenging. I am not an expert at crochet. I am making this blanket. The only difference I'm doing is the insides of these motifs I am doing in different colors, because I had quite a few just spare skeins of, it's the Hobby Lobby Secret Soft yarn. I'll get the tag. So I'm using up the different colors that I had to make the motifs colored, and then the outsides I'm doing in ivory. This pattern in the book says that it's easy. It didn't take me long to learn how to do the motif, and now I have it memorized because I've made enough of them. So let me show you. So I am doing this in, some of these are old, so the tags look different now. And I'm actually going to have to go buy a couple more. So it's the Yarn Bee Soft Secret. It's a lot like the Crayon Simply Soft. Very, very similar. So this is an acrylic yarn, easy care, perfect for a baby because it's super soft. And I'm using this light blue color. She is having a boy, my friend. And this ivory is going to be the border and all the little squares that join them together. So I've done blue. I believe that's called sky blue. This green, which is seafoam, and very similar to my wall color in here. I do like this color. So seafoam green, and I'm working on this neutrally tan color, which I like too. Now this skein did not have a label. I just had it in a box. I think it's Crayon Simply Soft because it's not exactly the same as the bee, Yarn Bee yarn, but it's fine. So these are the three colors I already have. And I'm going to be adding this, I don't know if I can hold them all up at the same time, but I'm going to be adding this butter color. So this is how, just like a box of yarn that I had these in. And then I need to buy more ivory because I'm going to run out of ivory, especially since I'm using that as the main border color. And I'm going to get one more color. And I think I've decided to get the color called Olive, which is a darker olivey green. And I think it will look very sophisticated and boyish. So, but still pretty. So I'm excited about this. I like to make baby blankets and pray for the mother while I am stitching and for the baby. So I feel like it's a special gift. I did ask her if she would like a baby blanket because occasionally people have a lot of people who make them baby blankets. And I don't want to burden someone with another special blanket to have to save and take care of for their child. So she said they could use a baby blanket, so I'm happy about that. So okay, so that, and this is a leisure arts book, so I really like it. I can show you some of the other patterns I like. This one is called Sweetheart Roses. I think this is precious, especially in those colors. This one is called Lemon Drop. I thought this is a really cute, easy looking one that you could just pick a couple colors you like. This one I think is adorable, but I don't think I'd ever make it. It's a little cars and trucks blanket. But this looks like too much sewing together for me. And if you notice that I left all my ends, I don't crochet over my ends. I probably should, but I honestly don't mind sitting and weaving in ends. I find it pretty relaxing, so I'll just take care of it once I get them together. So those are all of my knitting whips. And now I would like to share just a little bit of spinning. I started spinning probably 6 years ago. I don't really know for sure, but I had to put away my spinning wheel for several years because my youngest child was convinced that it was a tractor. And no matter how much I corrected him and tried to get him not to play with it or touch it, it's really hard not to go play with the tractor. I have an Ashford Traveler, so it stands up and it's got the big wheel. So probably for 3 years I've had my spinning wheel put away and I haven't used it. But this summer he's 5. He has turned over a new leaf and I started spinning again, which just brought me quite a bit of joy this summer. So what I'm spinning is some yarn or some fiber that I purchased a long time ago because when I first started spinning, I kind of stopped buying yarn and just started buying all the fiber. I love to go in person to pick out fiber. I don't think I ever really ordered much online. I did go to DFW Fiber Fest a couple of times, which is in Dallas, and I even went to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck with some lovely friends and bought fiber there. So, yes, so many things have happened since then, and the fiber has been just sitting on my shelves. But so this fiber actually, my husband bought me for my birthday one year. It's Malabrigo Nube, and look at how faded this is. This shows how long ago he purchased this. And I think he purchased this from when Madeline Tosh had their shop in Fort Worth, the Mad Tosh yarn store, which I did really enjoy. And it was funny because he really liked going there to buy me gifts, which I thought was very sweet. So this is the Malabrigo Nube, and the color is Plomo, which is the gray. And I mixed it with an undyed Polworth. So it's a 2-ply, a white or ivoryish undyed Polworth, and the Malabrigo Nube, which is 100% merino. So this is very marled, and I have quite a lot of it. So I have this, I have this one, I have this one, and I have this one. So for spinning, this is quite a lot. I wrote down how many yards I have of the marled like this. I have, well, I didn't add them up. So looks like, did I have 5 skeins? I have it written down that I have 5 skeins, but I only have 4 here. But I have at least 1,000 yards. So this is a lot. I really want to, I'm having trouble focusing my camera. I really want to knit a large square Shetland shawl out of this. I won't get a ton of wear out of it. It's too hot, but part of me just thinks this needs to be a very large square traditional Shetland shawl. So if any of you have favorite Shetland shawl patterns, I need them. I also have more of the gray, more than this. So I think I'll be able to get at least 1, maybe 2 of non-marled, just the Plomo put together. I mean, it'll be a little variegated because of the color variegation. But so then I can do some kind of feather and fan border that goes back and forth from gray to the lighter marl. So this is like a huge dream project for me. I would love to knit it. I've been researching shawls, and it's gonna happen, so stay tuned. Okay, and I need to find the 5th skein because I have it written down that I had 5 of these. Figure out which child ran off with a skein of my yarn. Okay, so that is the end of what I have of what I have been working on. Another part of my podcast that I would really like to include is Frugal finds. Like I said, I found a lot of these yarns through thrift stores or secondhand, or just happened to come upon something that was a good deal. And I think it's really fun to share those things. So I have one to share today, and it is this Patton's Croy. I saw this colorway. It's the Crayon Socks, and this is already not an expensive sock yarn. But the story is that I saw this colorway. It's called Sidewalk Chalk, and I thought it was just so cute, and I loved that it's like really pale pink and yellow and blue and gray, and I just thought it was a beautiful colorway. So I started keeping an eye out for it. I rarely just like run to the store and buy yarn, but I happened, after I had heard about it, probably months later, I happened to be in Hobby Lobby and they had some clearance yarn, so they had this one skein for $2.24. So originally $7.99. I got it for $2.24. I only got one. It might end up being some shorty socks, but I do like this colorway. I think it's really cute and fun, and so I was excited to find it. So that's my Frugal find. All right. So that is all I have for you today. I really appreciate you staying and listening to me talk about yarn. Please leave any comments or suggestions you have for me. If I forgot something, please let me know. On Instagram, I am Texas Peach Knits, and I have a Gmail set up at texaspeachknits@gmail.com. I was very pleased to see that that name was available in all the places. So please follow me on Instagram. You can private message me there or send me an email. I will be trying to come out again in October and show you my progress. And until then, enjoy the fall. Bye.